Now we're in a situation. Now we're in a situation, and now you're going to mess up a little bit of trust with your client because they're thinking you know how to use everything. Now, I already know that a few of you all may be looking for jobs doing social media management, or you're trying to find clients on your own because you're doing the freelance thing. Whatever the case, let me tell you this. There's going to be a few skills, a few things that employers or potential clients are going to be looking for, and they just want to know that you know how to do it or you're familiar with it. So in this video, I'm going to give you a few design softwares that you need to know, some tech that you need to know, just some overall skills you need to know, and some platforms that you need to know. So if you're ready, let's jump right on into it, shall we? Let's talk about some different skills that you just need to have within you, okay? You just need to be this type of person. And if you don't know how to do this, you're gonna have to learn, okay? That's my recommendation here. If it's not within you, let's work on it. That's all I'm asking. Let's just work on it. First up, you gotta be organized. Now, you can't have files every which way. You have to be an organized person because not only does it look good for your client, but it's gonna be helpful for you. And I've done a video for you all if you all wanna know how I organize my Google folder, because Google is free, all right? Google is free, so we like that. But you wanna have organizational skills for yourself and for your clients when you're dealing with them. When stuff is all over the place, it's just chaotic. And we're not gonna work like that. The second thing, you have to learn how to work on deadlines. And I'm not talking about deadlines that move from, okay, this Friday, I'm gonna have everything done. And then Friday come and you're like, I can get it done on Monday. Baby, that is one of the quickest way to turn off your clients or your employers. When you say you're gonna have something done, have it done by that day or before that day. And that's the thing, when you're setting deadlines, give yourself a little bit of grace, because what if you have an off day? You know, you may need an extra day just to sleep or something. So don't set a deadline or be given a deadline and then you just don't work towards that, because this just may not be for you if you don't like deadlines, because we work on deadlines. The next skill you want to have is creativity. And I know that not all of us are creative, but if you want to be a social media manager, it's just one of those things that really works well. So for example, if you have a real estate client, they're going to be looking to you to come up with creative ideas on how to represent them on social media. They're going to look to you like, what
type of TikTok should I make? What type of Instagram reel should we make? Should I be going live?
And they want to have fun and fresh ideas, and that's where your creativity can come and shine through. So if you're already creative, you're not gonna have any problems with that. If you're not creative, you know, I'm not sure that creativity is something that can be taught. Like, I kind of feel like either you got it or you don't. So let's just hope you got it. Now let's go into platforms. You need to know the platforms. And I can say that this is a skill that you understand. You're able to adapt to new platforms. But baby, you gotta know the platforms. You got to know platforms. And what does that mean? You have to understand how Instagram works. You need to understand that algorithm. And if you're gonna say the algorithm changes all the time, okay, but I don't agree all the time. But if it does change, you need to understand those changes and how it's going to affect your client. You need to understand how TikTok works. You need to understand how Pinterest works. Individually, you need to understand how every single one of these platforms will work for your client. What are the things that they should be using? What are the things they should not be using or may not need to use right away? You need to understand the insights for that particular platform. What are the things that you can track on the platforms? For example, to date, if I want to look at website clicks and track website clicks on Instagram, can I do that? Yeah, but I won't be able to see like a graph. And I'm going to put an example on here where I can see like where there's like heightened days, right? Like, again, this is to date. Okay. If this is what it's years, this is 2022. As of 2022, I cannot see a graph like this where it will show me, but I can use outside apps, and I got this screenshot from Iconosquare. So you need to understand that, though. You need to understand what you can pull, what metrics you're able to measure with different platforms. So y'all, if you don't understand how Twitter works, do not put Twitter as one of your offerings. Like, you know how sometimes for packages, you'll say, okay, well, I'll do Instagram and then, one additional platform. Don't leave that up to the client, because if the client comes to you and says, okay, well, I get two platforms with this package, I want to go ahead and use Instagram and Twitter, and you don't know how to use Twitter. Now we're in a situation. And now you're going to mess up a little bit of trust with your client, because they're thinking you know how to use everything. So tell them you can choose between Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook group management, whatever the case. Make sure that you know how to use the platforms that you say that you know how to use, and know how to use it in depth. Next up is design and editing software. And here's the thing, and I've talked about this in the proposal video that I created, but clients want to know that when they're coming to work with you, or you're working with them, whatever the case, however you want to say it, they want to know that you're coming in already knowing how to do things. Will some people train you? Absolutely. But if you can show that you already know how to use these things, that's going to be major. So a lot of clients will already want you to know how to use Canva. And when I say Canva, it's Canva Pro, because Canva Pro has a lot more features, and they're adding more features every day. But they have a lot more features than the basic Canva does. So an example of this is right now, one of the new things to date that Canva has released is going to be like whiteboarding. So if you can put that you know how to use Canva, you know how to use the presentations, you know how to do Canva whiteboards, like all these different things, that is a highly valuable social media manager. Those are the skills, the tech that I'm looking for somebody that I want to hire, because maybe I don't know how to use it, or maybe I don't have the time to train you, but I'm interested in using it. If you can come to the table with that already, you're above other candidates. I already okay, they already know how to use all these things, or things that I've been interested in working with. So keep that in mind. So when it comes to editing softwares, yes, it's perfectly fine to edit within the app. So make sure you say that. I mean, just lay it out, lay it on the line, let them know everything you know how to do. But there are going to be outside apps. So for example, like CapCut, things like that people will want you to know how to do. So if you don't know how to do that, download the app, create an account, and start editing on there, so that you are familiar with a lot of these different apps that people want you to know how to do. So let me see, there's some other ones too, and I have them downloaded. InShot is one. You may want to learn how to use Lightroom for editing like images. Let's see, Snapseed, Splice. Do people still use Splice? I don't know. If you all use any apps for editing, or like for, making images look better, drop them down in the comments. Let's share some apps, okay? Now, if you're real fancy, you'll learn how to use Adobe Photoshop. Again, that is something that will stand out, and for your potential clients or potential employers, when they see that you know how to use Adobe Photoshop, they're like, oh, they real fancy over here. They know how to use that good stuff. But it's not mandatory. But again, it's just something that will spruce you up and put you ahead of people a little bit more. Now let's get into a little bit of the tech. And I mean, I use the word tech lightly. Like, tech can be really just websites and like apps like that you know how to use. So the first ones are going to be like your scheduling tools. So there's standards, like there's Planoly, there's Later. If you also know how to use a Meta Business Suite, which is basically Facebook, where you can go in there and schedule out content. If you can adapt easily, and you already know how to use the platforms, the scheduling tools that your clients are already using, you're great. You're good to go. For example, Tailwind, Oracle. There's a lot of different softwares out there. If it is an approved partner for Instagram or Meta, you want to learn how to use it, like the popular ones. I'm not suggesting you go through every single one, but those ones that you hear often, go in there and create free accounts and learn how to use those platforms. Some other programs that you're going to see that people want their social media managers to use are going to be Asana, ClickUp, Airtable. If you can use those things, that's that fancy stuff. That's like when I say like using Photoshop, those are the things that are going to help you stand out if you are familiar with other programs like that. And the reason why is because those are like the collaboration tools. So a lot of business owners use those tools to collaborate with the marketing, where you'll be with their business manager, with a general VA, with their copywriter, their email strategist. You all come together in those platforms and collab. And so that's where they're going to do their approvals and things like that. So they may be open to using other platforms, but if you can just hop right on in and you say, well, yeah, I know how to use Asana. Perfect. We don't have to train you on that. We just got to show you how we use it inside of my business. Game changer. They will love you. So y'all, these are the skills, the design platforms, the tech, the softwares, all those things that will help you stand out as a social media manager. Remember, we have to start from somewhere, and yes, having a portfolio is great, but you have to have things to put inside those portfolios. So you want to put in there those skills. If you don't have any of these skills or know how to use any of these softwares, download them, sign up for accounts. A lot of these have free accounts and free softwares that you can use, and you start getting that experience so that when people say they want somebody who knows how to use this, you're not lying and you actually do know how to use them. So if I forgot any softwares, or if you have any ideas, anything that you have used that I didn't mention, make sure you drop it down below because we love to hear from you, okay? And until next time, peace.